Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Today, I will be giving you all of my wig secrets, and it's definitely going to help you if you're a beginner. So if you want to see all of my secrets, just stay tuned. So because I'm using glue for this particular wig, I'm going to be using this particular head. You using glue, the wig is going to form to the shape of that head, and nobody's head is shaped in a block, so you want to stay away from those when you're using glue. So I'm just going to place my shower cap on first. That is so that no glue gets on my mannequin head. And then I'm using a dome cap, and you want to pay attention to the placement of where I'm putting this cap. I'm putting it pretty much right at her hairline. So the closure does come pre-plucked, but if you look very closely, you can still see a very harsh line. So that means that you are still going to have to do some plucking if you want it to look a little bit more natural. Now I'm taking 30-second glue and I'm just putting it around the closure, and I'm going to press it down onto the cap. Now what you want to do is sew down the closure, and you want to make sure that when you're sewing the closure down, go through the band. You need to go through the cap material, the band, and then the last part of the cap. It's like 3 layers. The top layer is the material, the band is next, and then you have the cap material again. You want to go through all 3 layers. And you want to make close stitching because the band part is the thickest part of the cap, and that's what's giving you the most structure. That's where it's stretching it. So sew very close together here. So here's another tip. If you want a nice wig, make sure that you mark out your ear area. No one wants a wig where their ear is uncomfortable. Make sure you leave out a spot for your ear, okay? Because these caps are not designed for your ear. You know, they're pretty much circular all the way around. They have no cutout area for your ear. So you want to make sure that no hair is laying in your ear space, because then it's a discomfort. So here's the hair, and if you're wondering where I got it from Amazon. The link will be in the description. So for this wig, I am cutting the tracks. I'm using glue, so you know, I don't really want to use the fold over method. So I'm cutting the tracks and I'm laying them in a C shape. It's not really like a U, it's more of a C shape. And as I lay the tracks, I'm going to stitch down every edge of each track. That's so that the tracks do not lift whatsoever. So if you look, you'll see that we have so much space here and not much space there. So I do have something that we're going to do about that. So just hold on 1 second. So guys, to fill in this space, I'm going to be using shorter tracks as well as full length tracks. I'm just going to alternate between the two. I know you're probably wondering why I just won't use shorter tracks until it's completely filled up, but that's because I don't want to have to knot my tracks pretty much in the same spot, and then it causes it to be bulky. So when you're sewing the tracks that are on the band, you want to make sure that you lift up the band material, the cap material, You want to make sure that you lift up the cap material and only sew through the material. If you stitch your tracks through the band, it will not allow your cap to stretch properly. You only want to stitch the tracks through the cap material. The closure can go through the band material, but the tracks do not need to go through all 3 pieces of material. So at some point, you're going to want to split the tracks, and I know when I need to split my tracks. Some people may not know when they want to start splitting the tracks, but it's very easy to determine when. I will have to show you in another video. The reason why I am splitting the tracks is because I want to keep the wig as flat as possible. So when you split the tracks, especially up near the closure, it'll help you keep the wig as flat as possible. So when you get ready to lay your final track, you want to put it as close to the closure as possible, but you do not want to put it on top of the closure. Now I'm just knotting the last track on this wig, and I am pretty much done with the gluing and sewing part. Now you just want to remove the wig from the head and remove the shower cap. The shower cap is going to come out super easy. Here's what the inside of the cap looks like, and if you followed all of my instructions, it's going to stretch exactly how you need it to. Now what you want to do is cut out the material that is lying directly under the closure. Now we're going to move on to the customization part of this wig. I'm using Wella Bleach and 50 volume developer. You never really want to use this. This is all that I had though. And I'm just going to leave it on for 15 to 20 minutes. So now I'm just going to move on to plucking the closure. It usually is easier to pluck the closure after bleaching, but you know, when you don't buy quality closure, sometimes it's a little hassle. Now I'm just going to comb the hair in the direction that I wanted to and smooth it out, and then I'll be tying it down with some of my wrap strips. Now that the wig is dry, we're just going to move on to adding some layers. And I'm just hot combing the closure to get it as flat as I can. I'm using one of my favorite wax sticks to smooth down any flyaways. And I'm just going to continue using my hot comb just to get it as flat as possible. Sometimes it's harder to get it flat on the mannequin head. So now I'm just going to move on to the styling part of this video. I'm going to be using spritz, and I know a lot of people like spritz. That's going to make the hair hard and crunchy, but no, you can use spritz just like you would use a hairspray. The only difference is you just want to make sure that when you spray the product, You don't let the hair dry and get stuck. You want to just comb the product through the hair, and that's what's going to give you the same effect as a hairspray. So I will not be showing you the entire wig getting curled, but all I'm doing is just separating into pieces that's probably about 1 to 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inch, I guess. And I'm just going to curl under with the tail of the hair going to the left. And I know that probably don't make a whole bunch of sense, but since I am on the left side of the head, the hair that's hanging will be coming out of the left side of the curling iron. And when I move on to the right, I'll be doing the exact same thing. The top piece is curled slightly different than the pieces below the very top. I don't know if I'm making sense. Y'all will have to let me know in the comment section. But the top piece is curled more to the back as opposed to curling it under. But anyways, just continue to curl. So after the curls have been set, you just want to remove the clips, and you have to allow your curls to set. If they're still hot when you touch them, they're not ready. And I'm just going to start by finger combing, and then I'm just going to use a wide tooth comb to kind of shape the hair in the direction that I want it to be. So after you're done styling it up and getting it to your liking, this is pretty much the end result of this wig. Let me know down in the comment section if you learned something. I don't care if it was just one thing. Let me know right down in the comment section. Also, ladies, if you're looking for affordable wigs, I do have some wigs, $200 or less, come with closures or frontals. Yes, under $200. So if you're interested, please comment down below. I really hope that you learned something from this video. It doesn't matter if you are gluing the tracks or sewing the tracks. You can still take some of the information that I gave you and use it towards making a wig. Make sure you give me a big old thumbs up, and guys, I will see you in my next one. Bye.